Share via email report story. Who needs sleep anyways? Not me, Midoriya, you broke another pencil. Izuku snapped out of his thoughts, looking down to see what's left of the fifth pencil today. He sighed, as Todoroki casually passed him another pencil across the lunch table. You'll probably dodge the question, but I'll ask again, is everything alright? Izuku looked at his close companion, who awaited his answer with endearing eyes. Truthfully, I wish I could answer that, but I honestly don't know how I'm feeling, which is even more aggravating to me. Todoroki nodded, as he continued slurping on his cold soba. After a few moments, he said, well, it goes without saying, but I'm here if you need anything. Izuku smiled half-heartedly. Thank Todoroki, he replied, turning back to his notebook and glancing across the cafeteria. His eyes naturally landed on his brunette friend, who was talking to some upperclassmen while chatting with some of his classmates. Several guys surrounded her, and from his perspective, she seemed to be enjoying it a little bit too much for his liking. But why should that concern me? He sighed, closing his notebook. She's a woman who can make her own choices, whatever she do, I should support her. Even if it means talking to other guys, and they all take a liking to her too well. Midoriya, you're muttering again. Izuku groaned in response, placing his head on the table. Todoroki kept slurping his noodles, now having slightly more details on his friend's dilemma. I think I'm going for a walk, I'll talk to you later, Todoroki. The half-hot half-cold boy nodded, watching his friend leave the cafeteria. Izuku stepped outside, taking a deep breath. The spring air was refreshing, the sun beaming through the crowds. Clouds lazily rolled by, many students sat outside talking over future goals or last night's homework. The distant conversations didn't register with Izuku, he felt a disturbance in his heart he hadn't felt before. Izuku knew how amazing Ochako was, he could list off many qualities about her and her quirk without even glancing at his notebook. The impression she left with her bubbly attitude and cheerful smile could sway even the toughest of villains. At least, that's how he felt. Being her friend was a privilege to him, he couldn't imagine life without her. With that being said, it was those same heroics that turned a lot of heads. Her popularity skyrocketed almost immediately. It first started when she was the tough girl who didn't back down from Bakugo during the tournament, to working alongside the dragoon hero Yukio and Najire, who already been nominated as one of the most beautiful girls in school. Needless to say, he didn't like the attention. But he couldn't quite understand why. He'd admit in a heartbeat that he cared for Ochako, but he hadn't felt something like this before. A carnal desire to protect and hold her. His blood always began boiling with the idea of her with someone else. Yet, should he feel that way, she wasn't an object, he couldn't own her. Whatever choice she made, she was entitled to it and he wasn't. At all, end of discussion. Right, he placed his hand on his chest, growling in frustration at how fast his heart was racing. Maybe I should ask someone about this, but who? This doesn't seem like All Might's forte. He had the utmost respect for his mentor, but even he knew that it would most likely be a dead end. He casually walked towards the dorms, deciding to lay down for a bit. As he enters 1A's living room, he notices his childhood friend and rival Bakugo, busy texting on his phone.
What are you doing, fat boy? What the hell are you doing? I will spray right now. Just give me a second.
Stories you'll also like. Change Todoroki Shoto X Reader. 227k 4.6k. Sean, you're a bright, bubbly girl with a strong water quirk. You're starting your first year of high. Izuku X Ochako fanfic. All I need is you. 1m 18.5k. Izuku Midoriya and Ochako Uraraka are two pro heroes in training and promising ones at that. They attend Ua High, which is well known for producing powerful heroes includ. So, it's done. 87,438. Iswocha fanfiction. I love these two characters and I will guide you guys along the story. Please give my story a little time. I try to keep on adding Oni shots, but the BNHA reacts to ships. 475K 6.5K a ship reaction book. Starring Class A as wonderful little shits. Class B as equally wonderful little shits. And assorted others as tired motherfuckers. Dis. Under pressure. 8.7K 379. Asterisk dotted circle asterisk lying down on the cool grass, they let the sight of the vast universe overt. How it all started. Deku x Uraraka. Und. 231K 2.9K. Midoriya x Uraraka. This is me trying. Izuku. 11.5K 456. And quat. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. And quat. Izuku Midoriya x Fem reader started. 7. Oh, hey K Kachan. He still couldn't quite calm his nerves around his rival. Bakugo quickly turned his phone screen off before acknowledging the greenet. What's up, nerd? You look more distressed than usual. Oh, it's nothing, just thinking over some stuff. What were you doing just now? Bakugo fell silent for a moment, before pinching the bridge on his nose. Something stupid, he muttered, incoherent to Izuku though. What was that? Bakugo ignored his question, glancing over towards fellow students who walked in. He noticed Ochako's slight entourage with her, although her face expressed much more agitation than before. Mina, she whispered aggressively to her pink friend, if you don't remove them, I'm going to slam them on the floor like I did earlier at the cafeteria. She didn't like being too noticeable, she wanted to be humble with her hero works. She didn't mind compliments, but when one of them got too touchy, she didn't hesitate to nearly snap one of their arms off. Thank you, Gunhead. Overall, she wanted to talk to her crush. He seemed more distressed than before, a sense of anger she never seen in him before. Come on, it's one karaoke night, let's go together. The nameless upperclassman immediately got cut off, a hand shoving his face back into his pal's. Bakugo scowled at them, walking past Ochako. Move it, extras. She's not worthy for someone like you. Hey, round face. Bakugo turned his attention to her. Wanna go out? The entire room fell silent, almost as if the world stopped turning. Either from pure shock everyone discussed Ochako, or rage Izuku, no one said a word. Ochako couldn't quite comprehend that last few hours, and now her brain had completely fried from his proposal. I'm sorry, what, you heard me, let's go on a date. These losers ain't worth your time, and since no one else had the balls to say anything meaningful, I thought I'd shoot my shot. He reached for her hand, before his wrist was grabbed. A few gasps echoed around the room as Izuku stood in between the two. Oi, you got a problem, Deku. No words left the green boy's lips, his hair overshadowing his eyes. Bakugo growled, if you have a problem, say it. She's mine. The bass in his voice reverberated across the room, shocking even himself. Bakugo continued unfazed. What, now you want to say something? You jealous? I'm not jealous, Kachan, but I can't stand the idea of you guys treating her like an object. That may be hypocritical with my previous statement, but none of you have once took her feelings into account. And what makes you think you have any say in that? She's free to date who she wants, right? Izuku bit his tongue, knowing that Bakugo had a point. Can I say something? Ochako's words fell onto deaf ears as the boys continue raising their voice at each other. Face it, Deku, unless you have the balls to say your feelings right now, you don't deserve her. You just can't stand of her lips on mine. A quick right hook connected with Bakugo's jaw. He felt his lips, tasting his own blood inside his mouth. It makes me sick, all of you, Izuku yelled, turning to the frightened upperclassmen, that none of you understands how amazing she is. All you care about is what you see, her gorgeous face and her amazing moves, but you don't know her true motivation to being a hero. The way she cares about helping people, her eagerness at eating mochi, her cute giggles when she sees a meme, her. Izuku stopped mid-sentence when he felt his body floating. He turned around to see a very flustered Ochako, beet red, her rosy cheeks burning. Please, stop, my heart can't take this. Oh, release. Izuku floated back down, right beside Ochako. However, inflamed with passion, he picked her up bridal style. Deku, what or why you doing? Taking my stuff and leaving, he said, as he walked out the room with Ochako in his arms. The upperclassmen left grumbling to themselves and the girls left squealing through the hallways, while Todoroki walks in. It seems like that went well, Todoroki stated as he walked up to Bakugo. Yeah, nerd actually grew some balls over the past year. Thanks for your help, as agreed, you can use my father's credit card anytime. Keep that bastard's cash. He wiped the remainder of blood off his lip, smiling to himself. Consider it a favor to Deku for some crap I pulled in the past. Huh, so you do see us as friends. Shut it icy hot. Across the building, Ochako remained red being held so dearly by her crush. Deku, please put me down. This is embarrassing. Not that Ochako minded it, but her heart was racing out of her chest, and her voice only made Izuku hold her closer. Sorry about that, maybe I am jealous. He gently put her down. I never experienced something like this before, but whenever I'm around you, I feel like losing you would mean losing myself. The idea of someone else calling you their own hurts, I think I'm. He trailed off, realizing his train of thought would probably make the situation worse. Quietly he turned to leave only for her to immediately hug him. You're sweet, thank you for those kind words. But you don't have any need to feel jealous, silly. She stepped back to give him a heartfelt smile. My heart has always belonged to you, I'm already yours. But it would be nice to hear you say it as well. She pointed her index fingers together, pursing out her lips. Izuku grabbed her hand without hesitation. It should have been clear to me from the start. Ochako, I love you. Where stories live, discover now.